Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and I am about to go Christmas shopping. This probably isn't like the biggest, most profound video in the world, and I don't intend it to be. Obviously it's not going to be that long, it's not going to go on too much, but basically I want to talk about the fact that I don't feel very stressed out about going Christmas shopping. Usually it would get this close to the big day, and by this close it's what, December the 4th? But my sister's basically completed her Christmas shopping now. I have bought one gift and I have tons of people to buy for, and yet I don't feel in the least bit stressed or worried about it, and I don't know why. I'm beginning to question whether throughout this time of year we associate the stress with being part of the festive Christmas spirit, and we want the other person to be extremely happy, we want them to feel great about what we get them, and we want to see that smile on their face. And that feeling hasn't gone. I just feel as though if I find the gift, I found the gift. I have two gift ideas in mind for my younger brother and sister, and admittedly I do go a bit overboard when it comes to them at Christmas time, and I just want to give them all of the things. My parents not so much. I do want to get them more than I already have got them, which is a lot considering I've currently only got one of them something, and the other one, I feel like we did something for Christmas and then she said that that was it, that was her Christmas present done now, but I can't recall what that was. But are we addicted to the stress at Christmas time? Is it something we have begun to associate with this time of year, of having to run around chasing our own tails in search of the perfect gift for someone? Or is it just generally this time of year when we're still thinking about how this is going to probably ruin us financially, and we don't know how we're going to be able to give people the things we think that they deserve? Because I am unsure as to where I fall in terms of Christmas this year. Have I reached a point of privilege where I think that I've saved a certain amount of money this year, knowing that Christmas would arrive and I want to buy people gifts, and I'm in the privileged space that I still live at home and I have been able to save that money, unlike other people my own age who will perhaps have children already, they're struggling to make ends meet, and so they don't understand how they're going to be able to do this. Because I've also seen that sort of Christmas shopping and stress with my mother. Obviously when she was 27 she only had me, and my dad did have Mark and Stephen, but obviously they had their own mothers. I think Mark lived with us then, I can't be sure because I was a baby and don't remember it. As we grew older, and as I've mentioned in a previous video, I know that my mum bought a lot of our gifts from charity shops because of the aforementioned inability to actually afford things, and I know that my grandparents bought us a lot of gifts. And I do remember very full Christmases when I was a child. My mum still talks about when I was 4 years old and I burst into tears because I just thought that I had unwrapped too many presents now. But I also had a huge family when I was a child. You know, that there were 5 children. Both sets of grandparents were still alive. My nan's parents were still alive. My nan's aunties were still alive. A lot of people were giving us gifts. So I feel like that maybe lessened the stress for my mother somewhat, because she knew that she'd have these people to go to and they'd be able to purchase gifts, if that makes sense. But I know that it can be an incredibly difficult time, so I don't want to talk about the lack of stress, as though I haven't acknowledged my own privilege here, that I'm very privileged not to feel stressed at this time of year. Obviously, there's still the sadness that comes with this nostalgic feeling of knowing those people aren't around anymore. But sadness isn't stress, and it's a difficult one. I like that I don't feel stressed about it anymore. I remember being much younger and being stressed about the fact that I couldn't afford to get everyone all the things all of the time. It's why I made a huge decision when I was in my late teens to only buy for my family and my immediate family at that. As I've got older, certain other people have been added onto that list because I like to acknowledge the help and the friendship that they've given me in the year. But it's definitely weird this year that I don't feel this stress at the thought of Christmas shopping, and I just wondered whether anyone else is feeling stressed, and if you are, is there a certain reason why? Because if you're following me on Twitter, or even indeed if you're not, my DMs are always open, and if you would just like a kind person to talk to who isn't feeling the stress this Christmas, I'm here. And if you just need someone to talk to at any time of the year, I'm still here. So yeah, I understand that this can be a stressful time of year, but just know that it doesn't have to be. And if you are one of these people who maybe is trying to give your children the best Christmas, know that they're going to appreciate the experience much more than the gifts. And whilst they might not get what they want on the day, and you might feel unhappy about that, over time, that isn't going to stick in their mind. The thing that they didn't get, they're not going to remember it, because there will be a new thing next year, a new bigger thing. And whilst they might be a bit disheartened on the day, they're going to remember that you did your best to make it a great occasion for them. So yeah, focus on the experiences as opposed to the physical gift, and maybe that will lessen the stress that you're feeling at this time of year. Don't be going out and getting payday loans to try and fuel your Christmas in the hopes of giving them something perfect, because everyone's idea of perfect is different, and chances are it was never going to be perfect anyway. And that's not me being mean, that's just the way the world is. There's a lot of horrible stuff happening within the next month anyway. A lot of things that are probably going to stress us out more than Christmas. So I say we just focus on one another and making each other as happy as we possibly can through kindness. And I'm aware I took some tangents in this video, but I hope you got something out of it, and until next time, that is all.